you remember me? If you have not heard my story before, you can listen to it here. No, I'm not going to talk about what brought me to the streets, or how horrible my life is, or bore you with some sorry tale to garner sympathy. Far from it. I'm just going to ask you a simple question. One that I think should be simple enough. Do you think street workers like me should have access to health insurance or even basic health care? You know all those HMO stuff from the likes of AXA Mansard, Mediplan, Avon, Redcare, or even the NHIS? Do you think I deserve it or not? I probably am not worth anything, right? I stand on the road night after night offering my goods to the highest bidder. So whatever money I make should be used to treat whatever illness I might contract from those men. I'll probably be wasting taxpayers' monies that could be channeled to other productive ventures. So I'll ask you one more time. Do you know what it means not to have hope? To live in depression? Have you had to wonder where your next meal would come from? Have you felt fear of the kind so deep that it followed you into your dreams and left you constantly checking over your shoulders? Have you starved? Have you had to pick your meals from the dumpster and share even those crumbs with your family because that was the only meal they would have for the next 24 hours? Have you felt the biting cold that ushered in the Harmattan? The rain pelting down your back, the scorching sun that almost drives you crazy, the bite of the insects that kept you awake and knew that there was no shelter to run into because no one would take you in. No one cared if you lived or not. You were just another body occupying space. Have you woken up each morning and wished death would take you because life had no meaning? Each day left a bitter taste in your mouth. Don't you dare mention that there are governmental and non-governmental organizations and agencies that take up these causes and do something about them. What have you done? Yes, you. You think I do not hear the whispers of the sneakers when you pass me on the streets? I know your next statement. Oh, but everyone has a choice and you have picked your choice, so why should I be concerned about it? You should not be concerned. For yes, I've chosen this path myself. I am of course Alan, the road which men pass through in their search for fleeting pleasure. Do you know that last year I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder coupled with bouts of psychosis, or the more proper name, bipolar psychosis? Is that shock I detect? Is that pity I see on your face and hear in your voice? Do you know that for the rest of my life I would have to depend on drugs and psychotherapy to have a semblance of a normal life? I doubt you would understand the delusions and hallucinations I must deal with, or the irrational mood swings, the feelings of anger, hopelessness, and helplessness that constantly overwhelm me. Do you truly understand what I face having to deal with the constant suicidal thoughts? These feelings of worthlessness and guilt that has built a roof over my head and camped at my doorsteps. Have you ever looked in the mirror and not recognized yourself? Have you stared at the mirror and detested the person whose face stared back at you? Do you know what it means having no health insurance for the piling bills, or not being able to purchase the drugs I need or pay for the cost of therapy? Oh, are you not bothered? Do you not want to show concern because I have a real mental problem? Have I become almost normal to you? Will you not make excuses for me or carry some placards and chant across the streets that every person deserves basic human rights, most importantly the right to basic health care? You would quote the SDG Goal 3, ensure healthy lives and promote well-being for all at all ages. You would call for legislative actions quoting SDG Goal 8, promote sustained, inclusive and sustainable economic growth, full and productive employment and decent work for all. Emphasis on decent work, because obviously what I do does not fall into that category. To you, you're pursuing this with the purest of intentions, ensuring that I have basic health care and ensuring that I have a job I can go to. When all of this is over, the Instagram influencers, social entrepreneurs and do-gooders would have a field day with this one. I would trend on Twitter and go viral on Instagram, and all the major blogs would carry the news before I'm finally shoved out of the limelight and become just another one of the statistics. All the trending on Twitter will become a thing of the past as another personal charity case comes up, and there you are in the forefront fighting this new battle. The call for legislative action will be forgotten in the latest scandals that would erupt on the streets of social media. Now is the time to tell yourself the truth. Would you have done that for me for just a normal street worker with what you term no real needs or mental issues? Tell yourself the truth, my friend. Let your conscience judge you. I said it. Let your conscience judge you, because I am here judging you. That's what you do every time you pass me on the road or on the street. You judge me without giving me a fair hearing. You stand as my accuser waiting to mete out the punishment my crime deserves. It's not malaria now, or typhoid, or headache, or fever, or some stomach ache that I can just walk into any pharmacy, describe my symptoms, and get over-the-counter drugs to treat it. It is something you have no experience dealing with. So now you care. You know, it took me months to be able to say the words. Alan, you're bipolar. Or rather, the more political correct or religiously sounding better, Alan, you have a bipolar disorder. They say your worth is not tied to the illness or disorder. That was what my first therapist said. Oh, you shouldn't say you're bipolar. Don't give the disorder power over you. Just say you have the disorder rather than aligning yourself to it and becoming the disorder. You know that I'm fine when you know for a fact that you're sick. Or it's my enemy that has cancer when you're the one that had the cancer and it was crushing you daily. I took something out of those therapy sessions. My self-worth was not tied to what you said, or even my illness or whatever job it is that I do. Nigerians gloss over mental health, and I'm Nigerian. So best believe that I understand how you feel when you hear someone say I have a mental disorder. It took the kindness of one man for me to get a diagnosis after years of believing I was possessed, as some of the pastors my friend had taken me to made me believe. They did not talk about it. It is something shameful and should be hidden. Yet a lot of people we know, people who are friends and sometimes family, are suffering from it. Did you know that there are more than 1.5 million cases of bipolar disorder every year in Nigeria? I bet I just educated you. Because I'm quite cheeky when I want to be, let me educate you even further. We have over 100,000 cases of both psychosis and schizophrenia every year in Nigeria. How often have you deluded yourself that mental illness was an unknowable disease? Don't worry, I was once like you. I just wanted you to see how close it was. To you, to me, to us. Have I made myself almost human again in your eyes? Do you think that I'm deserving of something as basic as health care? Am I worth anything to you now? Would you see me on the streets and think differently of me now? I'm still Alan, you know. I have not changed. I still stand on the road night after night. For now, you know me a little better. And somehow I already appear different to you. All I have ever wanted was for you to acknowledge that I was human. That was someone like you, that I might not have chosen this path for myself, that maybe this is all I've ever known. I just wanted you to see beyond the appearance, but you never did. You judged and condemned me. You laughed at me and made me an object of mockery. I was nothing to you. I was beneath your notice. And apart from the times you passed me on the road, I never mattered. I try, I want better. I do not like this life that I live. A part of me dies every time my ties are opened. A part of me buried with each one of those men. Pain rips through my chest when I think of my life, and tears soak my pillow each night when I sleep. I have feelings, I see and I hear, and it hurts. The hurt so deep that words can never do justice in explaining. Truthfully, I am tired of hurting, but I'm only human. I bleed the same color as you, have emotions just the same way you do, and there is only so much that the human person can take. These words that you speak, they fill my head and like knives tear at my heart. I cannot carry on with the facade of having a tough skin, impenetrable to the darts that you throw at me. I can no longer fake a smile that covers the pain my heart feels. This is the point where I tell you that I am tired of being an object of ridicule for you and the likes of you. This here is my breaking point. The point where this human heart of mine can no longer bear the insults and the snide remarks. If you thought of your own frailty and weakness, I've become to you an animal to sacrifice to appease your thirst for justice. It is clearly either white or black, there are no shades of grey in between. It's either your way or the highway. Oh, if you could look at yourself and see how pride and avarice has taken root in your heart. See how sin has tainted your soul. This Christianity of yours is not that of Christ. This Christianity of yours holds no sympathy for others. It is one that casts aspersions on anyone who is seen to deviate from what you term the only true way. This Christianity of yours holds no redemption for the condemned. I'm only human, and as you preach when you carry your speakers blasting on the streets, everyone is made in the image and likeness of God. God loves everyone and He's ready to welcome you with arms wide open. Does that not apply to me? Or am I not God's child as well? Is my sin worse than yours? Are they so bad that this God you speak of cannot forgive? That this love that you claim is the mark of a Christian cannot be extended to me? Or are they just mere lip service? An act of patronizing your maker in some search for material rewards. You speak of love so pure that the Father sends His Son to die a most shameful death. For you. For me. You preach about love, yet this love never moved past your lips. Did your love show forth in your actions, not just the words you speak? Look at me and see in me the Father. Hate the sin, yes, for I know that what I do is wrong, but sometimes I feel like I have no option left. How do I feed? I have lived on the streets all my life. It is all I have ever known. How do I survive? How do I get a job with no education or skills? How do I pay for the simplest things to survive when I am not guaranteed something as basic as healthcare? I'm not asking for luxury. All I want is the opportunity to live my life without worrying about these things that are necessities. I want the same things that you want. A chance at life, at making something of myself. I want to love and be loved. I want to be able to fall into a dreamless sleep and wake up refreshed without having nightmares plague my sleep. I once said this, the very question I'd asked at the start. Do you think I deserve health insurance? I bet your answer would be different now. I'm only human, dear son and daughter of our Father. Yes, our Father, for I share the same Father as you do. All I ask is that you treat me with a little kindness and not be quick to throw that first stone and nail my coffin short with your looks and words. Don't be eager to judge and condemn, for we all stand accused before our Father, and it is only by His mercies that you have been redeemed. I'm only human, a living, breathing reflection of God. I am Alan.